Sports bettors, we have two Monday night football games, and I could have the best player prop bet of all time, and it is for tonight. Okay, it's for the Vikings Eagles game. So we're looking at Vikings Eagles, and what you'll notice is lines have just been drifting and drifting towards the Vikings, right? The sports betting market is just like the stock market, right? Prices move depending on supply and demand. So when an outsized amount of wagers is coming in on the Vikings, sportsbooks continue to take down odds on the Vikings and give better prices on the Eagles, right? Just like the stock market, sports betting is supply and demand. A lot of money coming in on the Vikings means odds on the Vikings money line has continued to drop. So you can see the Betfair exchange, a very sharp, efficient betting market, right? It's a peer-to-peer betting exchange. They're all the way down to minus 119 on the Eagles, which is currently the best price you can get. Coolbet giving you plus 126 on the Vikings. So that's where the money line is right now. This game's getting closer and closer to a coin flip, 50-50. But again, I have a player prop, right? So the player prop bet I have is in the player receptions market. So browsing odds on OddsJam for any market you want to look at, whether it's a main line, total, whatever, or player props, it's completely free, right? You want to look at all sports books in your location, Underdog, so also these DFS companies. You can do that completely for free on OddsJam to always make sure you're getting the best possible price, right? And that's critical as a sharp bettor. We talk about this a lot, but for example, if I go to point spread, so if I switch over to point spread, what you'll notice is like most sportsbooks have the Eagles minus 2.5, very slightly favored. But what you'll notice about point spreads and totals, so I can also go to the total. So Eagles 2.5 point favorites, the totals at 48.5, 49, is what you'll see right here is right, most sportsbooks juice totals at minus 110, minus 110. So you have to bet $11 to win back 10. Bet 11 to win back 10. That's the typical juice on sportsbooks for the over or the under. So when you're betting at minus 110 juice, right, you need to win, if you take a look right here, 52.4% of your bets to break even, right? If you convert odds to an implied probability, this is your break even win rate. So what this means is if you're betting at minus 110 juice and you're winning 50% of the time, right, on your over-under picks, which is essentially means you have no skill, right? It's basically blindly betting. If you literally had a cat pick over or under every single time, the cat would do 50%, right? The game either goes over or under every single time. So 50% is not good. 55% though is what the sharps do, right? The people who bet on sports full time for a living are winning on spreads totals 55% of the time. So that difference between 50 and 55% of the time is like literally blindly betting over or under versus being a full-time professional sharp bettor who makes a living off sports betting. So finding these spots with value is really all that matters, right? Like for example here, obviously if you want to take the over in the game, you should be betting on FanDuel at minus 110, right? Why? Because every other sportsbook basically has the mainline market at 49. If there's exactly 49 points in the game, we're cashing our over on FanDuel. Everyone else who bet the over is losing. We're cashing, everyone else is losing, right? So that's how you get, right? That's how sharps think. That's how the people who do this full time for a living think. And that's how you start winning on spreads and totals, not 50% of the time, but 55% of the time. You find these spots with value, right? So long story short, you need to be line shopping. You need to be browsing odds. And it doesn't really matter if you're betting, $5 a week. But if you're actually trying to make money sports betting, become a serious sports bettor, right? It's not about these crazy long shot parlays. It's about placing bets at advantageous prices, right? Like Devonta Smith, if you want to bet his receptions, you'd rather bet it plus 133 on Unibet, where you're betting 100 to win $133 in profit, as opposed to minus 104 on Pinnacle, where you have to bet $104 to win back 100 in profit, right? Like your payout is over, 35% higher on Unibet. Absolutely insane. So always make sure to browse odds. It's completely free with OddsJam, any sport you want to bet on. Very important if you want to make money sports betting. Literally critical. Sports betting 101, any person would tell you that, who does this full time for a living. You got to have multiple sports books so you can shop lines and get good prices. Like if you're placing bets at minus 120 on DraftKings when another sports book is giving you plus 100, you're literally screwed, right? You're never going to make money sports betting because you're getting 20% worse prices and you're getting ripped off and you're going to lose a ton of money in the long run. So anyways, the play I'm going with, which I love, is a positive EV bet on AJ Brown, right? So the way that OddsJam works, and you can see there's only 2 bets available right now. So it's not like there's a lot of bets. Is OddsJam, kind of constantly scans the market, right? All odds across sportsbooks, player props, everything. Millions of odds updating in real time to try to find those spots where sportsbooks are slipping up relative to the rest of the market. So where are there bets that actually have a mathematical edge, right? Like on spreads and totals, where is the bet actually winning 55% of the time, not 50% of the time? So it's actually a mathematically profitable bet. And right, what you can see here is AJ Brown under 5.5 receptions is what I hit, and that's what you want to be on, right? This is the best player prop currently available for today. Why do we like it? It's a very logical argument. There's no BS. I don't know anything. I'm not looking at this guy's thumb as he gets off the bus today. There's no BS, right? It's all data. It's all math. You treat every sportsbook as kind of an independent data point in the market, and it's pretty clear that plus 108 is a massive discrepancy, right? Minus 106, minus 108, minus 110, minus 115. No other bookmakers giving us better than minus 106. We're getting plus 108, right? So we're getting clear improvement to the entire market, right? So the true odds, once you remove the VIG, are going to be plus 103. We're getting plus 108 on Caesars. So a ton of value on Caesars. So you need Caesars Sportsbook, right? Like this is why it's also important to have multiple sportsbooks. If you don't have Caesars, you can't place this bet, right? Because it may not be available for you at such great odds. And the power in this bet is that you're getting such great odds, right? Everyone else is laying minus 106 to minus 137. We're getting plus 108. Absolutely ridiculous value. So that's what, positive EV betting is really all about. Like not every bet's going to win, but you're guaranteed to win over the course of the long run. So, we hit this bet, AJ Brown, 2.2% profit margin, $125 stake. As I said, I'll be tracking my profit and loss for all of these plays that I give out on YouTube. No promos, none of that BS, no prize picks, just like sports bets, right? All the sports bets, I give out. You'll see in the sheet, there will be a link in the description as well as in the comments. We're up 2.3K so far. So we had a bit of a rough stretch initially with baseball, but then Brewers money line cashed for us on Friday, and then yesterday was fantastic. Over 46.5 Rams Falcons, and then we lost Raiders minus 4.5. I have no idea how. And then what else did we do very well on? We got crushed on college football. I think the Cowboys was our best bet. So we had Cowboys plus 7.5 for $3,000. That one absolutely crushed it for us, obviously. But again, like positive EV betting, it really is a long game. If your bet has a 2.2% profit margin, this sheet will also be in the description. Essentially you have to place, if your bet size or unit size is $75, you need to place 25 bets a day to earn $12.50. If your unit size is $75 and you're betting, on bets with an average edge or mathematical profit margin of 2.2%. So it really is a volume game. Like this bet, of course, can still lose, but it has an edge, right? We're getting such great odds that the bet is mathematically profitable. So my job as a sharp bettor is place as many positive EV bets as I can kind of on a daily basis, because I know I'm going to win in the long run. So it's really just about placing enough bets, getting down enough volume that I can realize that profit. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Florida State minus 16, that doesn't seem particularly bad. And let's make some money.